Hello, dear friends and loved ones. Today's story is from the criminal files in Australia. The story began when a couple was enjoying their hobby of kayaking along the scenic waterways of Sydney, Australia. However, this beautiful outing turned into a shocking discovery when they saw a human body floating on the water. The couple quickly realized it was a woman's body and immediately called the police. The husband pulled the body to the shore. The initial examination indicated to the investigators that this wasn't just an accidental incident, as they found heavy weights in the victim's pockets. Upon further inspection, they identified the victim as Cecilia Haddad, a Brazilian immigrant who had come to Australia and worked for a major mining company. She was an ambitious young woman with a high level of education. Cecilia later worked for a railway shipping company and even started her own consulting firm, some volunteer activities in the same field. In 2017, Cecilia met a young man named Marino, also a Brazilian engineer. Their shared background sparked a romance. Yet despite the progress in their relationship, Cecilia confided in friends that she didn't see a long-term future with Marino, whose behavior had changed. Her friends encouraged her to end the relationship as soon as possible. In May 2018, Cecilia took the keys to her apartment and informed Marino that she wanted to break up. His reaction was intense. He attempted every possible way to win her back, and soon things turned into a stalking situation. Although some friends advised her to report his persistent harassment to the police, she chose not to and simply tried to avoid him, spending days away from her home to evade him. Finally, Marino was set to return to Brazil but requested a last favor from Cecilia, to drive him to the airport on May 29th. She agreed, intending it to be the last time she saw him. On the timeline, Cecilia spent the night of May 27th in her apartment and was in contact with friends the following morning. However, by midday, Cecilia stopped responding to messages. Her last message, to her mother, stated that she was heading to the mountains for a holiday. But, as mentioned earlier, her body was found in the river on Sunday morning. Her friends immediately pointed fingers at Marino. When investigators searched for Cecilia's missing car, they found it near the railway area. Surveillance footage revealed that Marino had been in her apartment on the morning of her disappearance. He was later seen going to a store, then returning to her apartment. The investigators suspected Marino had strangled Cecilia, used her fingerprint to unlock her phone, and sent her last message to her mother. Cameras captured Marino driving her car and stopping near the river, with footprints at the scene linking him to the crime. Afterward, Marino purchased a bottle of wine, left the car by the railway station, and abandoned it there. Investigators questioned an Uber driver who picked Marino up from the area. The driver reported that Marino had asked him to stop while crossing a bridge, where he threw something into the river, believed to be keys. Later, police recovered a set of keys Marino had discarded, which included Cecilia's car key and a keychain bearing an image of Christ, further implicating him in the crime. The investigators collaborated with Brazilian authorities to open a case against Marino. Brazil agreed to try him in Brazilian courts. In July 2018, Marino was arrested in Brazil and faced a prolonged trial, during which he denied all charges. He spent 4 years in prison awaiting the final verdict. In June 2020, Marino's trial began with unexpected events. He broke down emotionally and confessed to his crime, explaining that he went to her apartment intending to reconcile. They talked briefly, had coffee together, engaged in intimacy, but later had a violent argument, during which he strangled her, disposed of her body in the river, and fled the country. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison for murder and an additional 5 years for concealing the body. In the end, my friends, do you think love could drive someone to commit murder? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell to receive more stories like this.